Good morning and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm Kelly Bednar and I'll be your host for this edition of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break. Thank you for joining us. The Tuesday Morning Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, enrich yourself, your team, and your business. Welcome to our new viewers and welcome back to those of you joining us again. Thank you again for taking a few minutes out of your busy day. We have another great show ready to share with you this morning, so grab your cup of coffee or your favorite morning beverage, and let's get started improving your profitability. Today, we have with us one of our very own team members from here on the campus, Bart Berger. Bart is no stranger to Tuesday Morning Profit Break or our industry, and is going to spend a few minutes taking us through goal setting and why it matters. Bart, thank you so much for taking a few minutes this morning and sharing a few tips during this road to recovery.
Hey, Kelly, thanks. Good morning to you. And hey, good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you. I'm excited to talk about a topic that I'm passionate about, and that is goal setting. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is I meet a lot of incredible people in this journey of life, but so many of them don't have personal or professional goals. So let's take a few minutes and talk about why they're important, and then I'll share with you a couple examples and get you started there. So let's start off with this. Here's what I'd like to share with folks. Being busy is not the same as being productive. All of you tuning in today are hard workers, right? You're not lazy folks. Otherwise, you wouldn't be investing in yourself and your team to be here, right? You'd be watching like funny cat videos or some TikTok nonsense, right? So none of you here today are lazy. But it doesn't mean that we're all as productive as we could be. If I had 100 people in a room, all of them worked equally as hard, not all of them would get the same amount done. They would have different levels of productivity, and it starts with goals. So that's what I want to share with you today is a little bit of some goal setting techniques and to get you started down that road there. Now, I live by this. Someone shared this with me years ago. What gets measured gets managed. So the goal setting process starts with your ability to start to quantify things and measure things. And just know, anything in life, personally or professionally, when you start to measure it, I promise you it will start to get managed. So the acronym that we teach to here at the campus is what we call SMART goal setting. You may have heard this before. It's not new. In fact, a gentleman named Peter Drucker was accredited with this way back in the 50s, and it's still even probably more relevant today than it even was back then. So we're going to take a quick walk through this SMART analogy, share with you what it means, and then I'll share with you a couple examples before we let you get back to your business today. So in our SMART analogy, the first is S. S is for specific. Any goals that you strive for need to be specific. That's where you start to dive into the who, the what, the when, and the how. And we tell folks use action-oriented verbs, right? Be specific with what you want to do. So if I said to you, look, we all want to improve revenue or reduce cost, those are great initiatives, but man, they're just not specific. What kind of revenue? What kind of cost? So first on the agenda, S is specific. We need to make sure that our goals are specific. The M is for measurable. Measurement is key. Can we quantify the goal that we're going to do? Can we wrap our arms around and measurement? Remember what I talked about, what gets measured gets managed? These goals need to be quantifiable. The A is for attainable, and we want these goals to be stretched but not unattainable or unrealistic, right? You don't want a goal that's too high or too low because it's demotivating for you, the team, leadership, family, whoever you're setting those goals for. So the A is for making sure that goal you're going to set for yourself is in fact attainable. The R is for realistic. And this is where we take into account the available resources that you have, staffing, skills, funding, equipment. Are you set up for success? Do you have what you need to do that? You could have a goal that could be absolutely attainable from a dollar amount or a percentage amount, but it may not be realistic if you don't have the tools and the support that you need to get there and to make that happen. And then finally, the T is for timely. This is where we set a deadline or a date when we want the goal to be accomplished. That's how we kind of wrap our arms around it and say, when do we want this to be done by? And so we want to make sure that all of our goals are time-bound on there. So I want to share with you just a couple of quick examples here, and let's take a look. So I've got this goal here of increase food and beverage revenue. So that's the goal. And I think we can use our SMART acronym to measure this to answer the question, is it a SMART goal? Now, for some of you, if I said, hey, I want to increase food and beverage revenue, is that a SMART goal? You'd probably say, well, yeah, Bart, that's a very SMART goal. It's a great initiative. It's a great thing to work towards, but is it really a SMART goal? Let's take a quick look. Is it specific? Well, I did identify food and beverage revenue, so I've kind of specific with my revenue there, but is it measurable? What is increased? Do I want to increase $1? Do I want to increase $10, $100,000? So it's really not measurable in there to understand that. Is it attainable? Well, I can't answer that because I don't know what increase looks like. And is it realistic? For the same reason, I have no idea. So the critical element here is if you don't set a measurement, there's no way you can determine whether a goal is attainable or realistic. And then is it timely? When do I want to increase this food revenue by? Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So I really don't know what success looks like. So while this is a great initiative, and who doesn't want to increase revenue, this is not a SMART goal. And when you can start to wrap your arms around that and separate between an initiative and a goal, you are on the road to success. Now, let's take a look again at something similar and see how it measures up here. What if I use what we've just learned and said, I want to increase food and beverage revenue 5% in the second quarter over prior year? Let's take a quick look at this. So is it specific? Yes, it's food and beverage revenue, just like the other one was. Is it measurable? I want to do 5%. I'm measuring sales in my facility, so I can now quantify what success looks like at 5%. Is it attainable? Well, in this example, we need to take a little bit of a leap of faith and say, yes, it is. We're not asking for 500% or 50%, but let's assume in this example that 5% is a realistic goal. We may find that 5% is not enough strive, so we might want to adjust that. But in this example, 5%, yes, it's attainable. Is it realistic? Do we have the tools? Do we have the resources? Do we have all the things we need to do that? And again, in this example, let's assume that we do there. And then is it timely? And in this case, yes, we're saying that we want to do it second quarter over the previous year. So, Kelly, when we can start to measure things in that SMART process, it really helps us on the road to recovery and takes that activity and turns it into action.
It's a nice, simple way of putting it together into 5 little different categories. Of those 5 SMART, is there one that gets missed more than the others?
Oh, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. The one that I see that people struggle with the most is the measurement, the M. And that's because we often, in our mind, knows what success looks like, but we don't articulate it and quantify it, both for ourselves and our team members. So by far, measurement, setting a quantifiable number, goal, percentage, dollar amount, whatever that may be, that is where, as people are learning these skills, it's where they fall short the most.
For us here at the Bowling University, we kind of live these on a day-to-day basis. So we've heard you talk about this topic before. Can you talk about a little bit deeper about the timeliness of the goals on different levels of the organization?
Yeah, we're really getting into some 201, 301 stuff, but this is good. So once you start to get into to understanding the SMART goal process and you start setting these goals and using these techniques, as a general rule, what we teach to and what I would suggest is the closer your team member is to the guest, the shorter the time frame of that goal should be. The farther the way the team member or the owner or whoever it may be is away from the guest, the longer the time horizon may be. And let me share with you a quick example. If you're a manager or an owner, you can think in terms of quarters and years. So you might set goals that are quarterly goals or yearly goals because you can wrap your arms around that. You think in that horizon. Our frontline team members, our bartenders, our food servers, our customer service representatives, they are the closest to the guest. They look through a different lens. They're thinking about things in span of days and weekends and week. So if you set a goal for a frontline team member and you make that a monthly goal, the time horizon is too long. It's not timely because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do this weekend with my friends. And so that goal and that time bound needs to be closer and tighter. Whereas a manager, you can certainly think about things in a quarterly or a yearly or even a 3 to 5 year basis in there. So the closer the team member is closest to the guest, the shorter the time horizon needs to be on that goal to make it smart and achievable, and then we can work up from there.
So even a daily goal would be something to use. So final question here. I think I know the answer. Is it true that you really measure everything?
Well, that's a setup goal. You just want me to admit this in public in front of everybody watching today. So yes, I do measure everything. I'm a little bit obsessive. I know sometimes the team here gives me a little bit of grief. I do take this goal setting to an extreme. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about it at home. I'm passionate about it with the people I care about here at the campus. And I'm passionate about it with all of you because I sincerely believe that what gets measured gets managed. And you don't have to go quite as obsessive as I do, but I do believe in order for you to take that activity and turn it into action, when you start doing that with goals, it's magic, man. So yes, I'm going on record. I do measure everything.
Well, like you said, you were set up, and we appreciate you sharing your passion because we live it and we know it's true too. I would like to remind all of you that if you would like more information of team members to benefit from understanding this topic, we do have a great 30-minute course as part of our on-demand online training program here at bowlinguniversity.net. As we wrap up another edition of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break, remember when your focus is growing on people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next week at 10:15 Eastern for another great episode of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us at any time at education@bpaa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinguniversity.net. Until then, I'm Kelly Bednar. Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone else. See you next week.